Good morning, Carnival Dream family, and welcome to your Debarkation presentation. My name is Jess, and I am here to walk you through step by step what tomorrow morning is going to look like. So everybody take a deep breath and let it out. Because I am here to make the process as smooth as Tennessee whiskey for you. And at the end of the presentation, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, please do not hesitate to come up to me or anyone else from the Fun Squad. That is what we are here to do. All right, let's jump right into it with some very important reminders. It is not too late to sign up for our exclusive Carnival credit card. Ooh, you get a $250 statement credit and 12-month special financing, and we have a very special on-board offer for you. You can scan this QR code. You'll see it all around the ship. Not too late to double your fun points with our reward system for our Carnival credit card. Next up, do not forget, again, not too late, if you have not already, visit those fun shops on deck 5 in the middle of the ship for your last chance for tax and duty-free purchases. You got the FE shop, you got all your merchandise that you do not want to miss your take-home gifts. If you have an account balance, we have a few places that you can settle. You can always go to guest services, and they will be happy to help you with whatever questions, comments, concerns you have about your account balance. However, if you are, maybe you don't want to talk to a person, that's okay. We're in the 21st century and machines are our friends. So we have a couple kiosks for you in deck 5 in the middle of the ship, forward of the ship, or deck 3 at the forward of the ship, right by guest services. And that way, if you got a question, you could just pivot, and then the guest services team is right there to help you out. All right. Cash deposits. If you have exceeded your deposit amount, you need to pay the outstanding amount at those kiosks at the locations that I just told you about. If you have a credit card on file, the balance will automatically settle itself. So it's not like a hotel, a normal hotel. We are a floating hotel, but it's not like a regular hotel where you have to visit the front desk in order to check out. Again, if you have a question like, hey, do I need to go to guest services for this? Of course, we are here and ready to answer those questions for you. But if you have a credit card on file, it will settle itself. Now, as you make purchases with your sail and sign card, your bank places holds as you make those purchases. Now, as the cruise comes to an end, your bank will be notified of the final amount, and then a request is sent for those holds to be released. Unfortunately, we cannot expedite the process. It is just the communication from Carnival to your bank and the timing that it will work out. It is different from bank to bank and from card to card, but we unfortunately cannot expedite the process in any way for you. All right, jumping in to the debarkation information. This is what tomorrow morning is going to look like and how we are going to keep it as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. All right, let's jump into it. All right, step number 1, you're going to go into that Carnival Hub app where you have been using all cruise long to find out all the fun things that's going on, and you're going to go to My Planner, and you're going to select your debarkation preference. Now, there are 2 options. You will see Express or checked luggage. And now I will go into a little bit more detail as to what those 2 mean, but then you're going to select either checked luggage or express. If you select checked luggage, then you are going to specify how many bags that you are checking. That means how many bags you are leaving outside your stateroom for your incredible room stewards to pick up. They're going to take them, and they will be ready for you to pick up off the ship. But again, we will get into that more a little later in the presentation. The next steps, after you select either checked luggage or express, it is going to ask if you or any of your family members that you are traveling with require any assistance. So you check if anyone needs a little extra assistance getting, whether that could be wheelchair, and I will show you where to go if you selected yes, that you need that extra assistance. You're going to select how many bags that you need, and then you have your debarkation is all set, and then you'll see it in your planner for tomorrow morning. All right, let's talk about the difference between express debarkation and checked luggage. So, express means that you are going to have every single piece of luggage with you, meaning that when you walk off the ship, you have everything. You could jump in your car or you could get in that Uber to that plane and you are ready to go. Checked luggage means that you are going to place your luggage outside your room, again, for your room stewards to collect, and then that team is going to deliver it to the port, and the luggage will be available for you to pick up in the port, so that you do not need to have your bags with you tomorrow. However, you will need to wait for that luggage tag number to be called before heading down to the gangway to exit the ship. If you have chosen express checkout, meaning, again, that you have every single piece of luggage with you and you do not need to check any luggage, you haven't left anything behind, you have all of your luggage with you, when your group letter is called, and only when your group letter is called, you will come down to the gangway, which is located on deck 3, but we will get there in a moment, and make sure that you have your sign and sail card, that's your room key, have that out in your hand, and then your proof of residency. So your passport, birth certificates, have that in your hand because you will need that once you get out to the port. Checked luggage debarkation. All right, you do need to select this option. If this is your preference, you need to select it before 1 p.m. on the last day of the cruise. That's today. Yes, it is. All right. Log in to the Hub app just like before. Again, if you want me to run through the process with you individually on your phone, I am more than happy to do that. Luggage tags, the numbers, will be delivered to your stateroom the day before debarkation. That is today. So if you've already selected it, by today you will have those blue luggage tags delivered to your stateroom. Now, once you put the long luggage tag on your suitcase and you leave it outside, make sure that you tear off the little bottom tag so that you have the reference so that we know what number that you are waiting on to be called down to the gangway to head off. It is also very important that you have all of your packed bags, you place it outside of your stateroom before 11 p.m. Preferably, so between 9 and 11 p.m. is when you need to have those bags placed outside of your stateroom, ready to be picked up. Also very important for checked luggage, make sure that you do not have any of your medication or like passports, driver's license, sign and sail card. Do not put that in your checked luggage because you need that to get off the ship. All right, if we got it, say got it. All right, next up are allowances. So our U.S. citizens, and then we will talk about our Canadian citizens also because there's a whole 6 of you on board today. So, and this is being recorded. So when they watch it back in their staterooms, they'll say thank you for going over this information. All right, so you can have up to $800 worth of tax and duty-free items. You can have 1 liter of alcohol, 1 carton of cigarettes, that's up to 200 cigarettes, and up to 100 cigars. That's for U.S. citizens. Now, Canadians, it is almost the same with a little bit of a difference. We have a little bit of a difference in the number of cigars that we can take off, so only 50, and we can take either 1.5 liters of wine or 1.14 liters of liquor, and that is where that differs. Now, with these items, all guests debarkating in Galveston, debarkating is not a word, debarking in Galveston with alcoholic beverages or cigarettes will need to be taxed. So go ahead and scan this QR code if you know that you have alcohol or cigarettes. If that applies to you, scan this QR code because you do need to declare those in order to debark tomorrow morning. Okay, group letters and group numbers. Tomorrow morning, you'll hear on the PA system and you will be notified in your Hub app when it is time for your group to come down to the gangway. Now, Deck 3 is not a waiting area. Deck 3, however, is where some of our priority lounges are located. We have a few priority groups. We've got our diamond and platinum guests. We also have our suite guests that get priority debarkation, and we have faster to the fund. So if any of these apply to you, there will be a letter delivered to your stateroom tonight, and it will have a specific location of where to meet and what time, and we will get you off as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Just follow the letter that was delivered to your cabin. If you do not have a letter to your cabin, these do not apply to you. And then you are waiting for either your letter, your group letter, or your group number to be called down to the gangway. And again, do not come down before that, or you will be sent back up to the public waiting area. So, when we were looking at the Hub app and the steps to select your debarkation preferences, one of the questions was, do you need special assistance? Does anyone that you are traveling with need special assistance? If the answer is yes, and you need wheelchair assistance, the meeting area, and there is a fantastic team ready to meet you, in the Encore Theater, Deck 3, that's the very front of the ship on the starboard side. Let them know you're there for your wheelchair assistance, and they will get you set up, and they will help you off the ship. For state rooms, everybody needs to be vacated from their rooms by 8:15, because believe it or not, we got a next group of cruisers coming in right after you, and our incredible housekeeping team flips the entire ship in a few hours. It is very impressive. I do not know how they do it, but in order to make it smooth and successful for them, we do need to be out of our rooms by 8:15 in the morning. And we will be making announcements as it gets closer to that, so you know that it is time to head out of your room and be in the public waiting areas. Now, you heard me say that Deck 3 is not a waiting area. So, Deck 3 is where the gangway is located to get off the ship. It's the same place that you got on the ship. However, do not come down to Deck 3 before it is your time to debark, because if Deck 3 gets backed up, then everything gets backed up, then we have to stop the whole operation. And that's not smooth as Tennessee whiskey. So, the waiting areas are Decks 5 and 10. We're gonna have breakfast open tomorrow morning. So, if you are not one of the very first groups, letters or numbers, head on up, have breakfast, wait anywhere on Deck 5 in the public waiting areas, Deck 10, but do not come down to Deck 3 until we are ready. Also, a pro tip that I have for you, please have a meeting place with your family before you come down, because again, Deck 3, you cannot wait for your family there. So make sure that everybody in your party is ready to exit the ship. You exit all together, and then it is nice and smooth. Also, a final reminder. All of you are going to get an email with a survey, and it is very, very important that if one person, if 3 people, anybody made an impact on your vacation and made it a great vacation, please mention their name in the survey, because it does make a very, very big difference for them. So let us know how the trip was, how we can make it better. But it is very important. Like, if your room steward was incredible, if there was a bartender that remembered you by name and made an impact on you, mention them by name so that they can get the recognition and the love that they deserve. Because here at Carnival, they really do listen. So, for example, a couple weeks ago, I was on the Wave Show, the morning show with the cruise director, and someone in the audience had taken a picture of me and the other fun squad with the cruise director and posted it to John Heald's Facebook page. It was just in a comment thread, and they said, Jess and Karen are so fun, whatever the comment was. But that photo got back to our management team, and then we got recognition for it. So even though it wasn't part of the survey, we still got recognized. Carnival does listen, so it is very important to fill out this survey. Your feedback matters. Okay, that concludes our debarkation presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're here, it means that you are the most responsible in your party. So take this information that you have learned, spread the knowledge, because the more of us that know on the ship, the smoother that tomorrow morning is going to go. So until the next time that we see you on the ship, my name is Jess. Have fun, be safe, and I will see you around the ship. We still got a huge fun day at sea ahead of us. Bye.